Hello, my wonderful Libra. Welcome back to Vovo Drag Tarot. Or if we throw the Kath and Kim accent on, Vovo Drag Tarot. I don't know. My name is Joni Vovo. I'm a drag artist based in Sydney's Inner West, Australia. And yeah, tonight I was out at the Newtown Hotel. There's an open mic event there for queer performers, well, for any performers, but it's very queer, to get on stage and, you know, do what they love to do. If you're a king or a queen or a thing, if you're a poet or a musician or a contortionist, we had one tonight, it's a stage for you. So would highly recommend. It's where I started my career. And, you know, even though I've ventured out from there, I keep going back because that's my community. That's my queer community. Libra. Well, this is actually a bonus reading for you. Looking back at all the May readings I did, you guys, sorry, shouldn't gender, y'all had the highest amount of viewers and likes and engagement, and that's awesome. So I thought I'd do a bonus reading for you. I'll also do, you know, the regular readings through June, but you'll get a bonus reading. Just a quick look back at the previous message if you happen to see it. We talked about that it's time to mix things up. Maybe time to do things in a different way. Try a different strategy. You know, you've done the tried and true path, and it might be time to branch out, do things in a different way. Let's just give the deck one more shuffle. I'm going to use a Celtic cross, so we'll look at the current situation, past, present, what's known, what's unknown, hopes and fears, advice, final outcome. And I'm just using a Rider-Waite deck. Along the way, I might pull some clarifiers if I feel we need to. All right, good? Good? Let's go. Current situation. We've got Two of Wands. Okay. So the Two of Wands, you can see this person here standing in their castle. They're in a place of stability, security, their home, they've built an empire, and they're here holding the world in their hand. I would also point out this world is very small. It's a small world. So they're surveying their current world, everything they've built and achieved and understand, but then they're looking out over the castle walls to the horizon and thinking about what's beyond the horizon. And so the question here is, do you stay within the castle walls with what's familiar, with what's known, or do you venture out? So you might currently be in a space where you're very introspective, retrospective, all the spectives, thinking about, am I happy where I am, or is it time to venture out and take a risk and do something new? So that's the current energy. The immediate past, we've got, okay, the Queen of Cups. So potentially, whatever you've been doing up until now, it's been very satisfying, very emotionally fulfilling. But also, you've probably been in a position where you're providing the emotional care and stability for the people around you. Perhaps you've felt that you've had to be a bit of a rock or a pillar to your situation. You know, maybe that's work, maybe that's a relationship, maybe that's family. The work that you've been doing is to be in tune with yourself, to be calm, cool, collected, and stable, and then provide that stability to the people around you. And perhaps this is where you're at now. You're like, well, I've done this role. I've been the emotional caregiver. I've been a caregiver in a lot of different capacities. Maybe there's something more or something different. And that's where you're currently at. All right, let's look at what's what's coming up for you? We've got the Ace of Wands in reverse. Well, I guess that makes sense because we're already here in this speculative space with the Two of Wands, and you know you're probably thinking, well, if I venture out, what opportunity is going to be there for me? If I take a risk and leave what's known, what will I find? What opportunity, or if I put my hand to something new, what will it be? What can I be passionate about? What change can I enact? What can I create? And it's inverted and in your future. So it seems like you're in this stuck energy at the moment. You're thinking about venturing out and you can't see what's coming up next. So you're kind of in limbo at the moment. How are we doing? Good so far? All right, we're going to look at the cross energy. Cross energy is to do with about the challenge you're currently facing. So it might be like a wall, it might be an area of growth, it might be what wisdom you're trying to understand, it might be, you know, the challenge that you're rising to. So let's look at the cross energy, and we've currently got the Five of Pentacles. Okay. Well, maybe this is why you're thinking of doing something new. So the Five of Pentacles is all about lack. So you can see these two people here are out in the cold. You know, behind them is this window, and on the other side of that window is warmth, home, family, safety, shelter, food. Like, it's, you know, very much that sense of stability and shelter. And these two are very much excluded from that. So I would say, it seems like you've been in a position of providing a lot of care where you're very stable and you provide that stability to others. But it seems you feel like it's not enough. Perhaps you've given more than you have. Perhaps you're giving and not receiving. So you still have this energy of lack. Maybe you feel you don't have enough to give. Maybe you're exhausted. Maybe you've given everything you have and you're now in this space of like, when do I get some rest? When do I get to receive instead of give? And you're looking at your options and you're thinking, well, what's the way out of this? I need some new path forward so that I can sense you're very much passionate about this. This is who you are. Like, you don't have any qualms about being the Queen of Cups. You know your emotional capacity, but it kind of looks like it's not sustainable. And you're thinking, well, how can I make it sustainable? So I get the sense you're not trying to do away with this role. Like, this is very much who you are. But you're like, well, how can I do it differently? How can I receive as well as give? What's coming in from, like, when do I receive? I don't want to be in lack. I don't want to be in deficit. All right. Let's look at what you're aware of about this situation. What's sitting in your conscious mind? Sorry, I'm laughing because we just had the Two of Wands and now the Three of Wands are coming up. So it's very much, you've thought, okay, something needs to change. Twos are all about decisions and change. So you've already thought about this long and hard for a long time. You're like, things can't keep going on this way. Something needs to change. Let's venture out and try something different. So what's sitting in your conscious mind is the Three of Wands. You're like, well, I've been waiting for a while. So this guy here, this person here is standing on the shore, and you can see there's boats on the ocean in the distance. This person is waiting for their ships to come in. They've already made a decision. They're like, well, once this ship comes in, I'll jump on it and I'll depart. And that will be, you know, how I move from here to there. And it's inverted. So I get the sense that you've been waiting for a while. You're waiting for your ships to come in. And you're probably frustrated. Probably thinking, well, I know something has to change. I'm willing for change. When will this ship come in? All right. Let's look at what you don't see coming, or what's sitting in your unconscious. So we've got the Queen of Pentacles upside down. Oh, Libra. I'm sorry, this is going to be a little bit of a tough message. I've had to hear this message before, but we're just going to go there. So where the Queen of Cups has great emotional depth and the ability to empathize, the Queen of Pentacles, it was upside down, but upright. The Queen of Pentacles is very much about, where this is empathy, this is care. The Queen of Pentacles gives care in lots of different practical ways. And it was upside down. So I would dare say, while you're giving out all this empathy, you're neglecting giving yourself self-care. You have to do it. I mean, it's great to receive care from others. It's great to receive empathy from others. But before all of that, the baseline has to be that you give care to yourself. And it seems the thing here that is unconscious to you is that you're neglecting self-care. Sorry, I don't mean to shake my head. I'm shaking my head out of exasperation because I've heard this message before and I'm just like, oh. It's a difficult message to receive. But the thing that you don't see is the lack of self-care. And that's hard. Okay. Let's move on to, sorry, ADHD goldfish brain. It'll come to me. Advice. So your advice is, oh, the Nine of Cups. That's kind of cool. So the Nine of Cups is all about, it's thankfulness, gratitude. So, I mean, the two queens that have come out are the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. They're both very, very industrious queens. And while a lot of their energy is focused towards others in terms of empathy and care, they're very industrious. So they've probably achieved a lot. They've probably, you know, if you've given a lot, it's sometimes hard to tally up those achievements, you know? Because we're not talking about pentacles here. We're not talking about like money in the bank. We're talking about like where you've invested. There's probably been a great outcome. And it might be something that you can see. And it's probably something that can't be measured by money. Because it was time and it was energy and it was investment. And you know the work you've done. So I would dare say part of this gratitude is about looking at the work you've done and the achievements you've had. Even if it's not your bank balance, which sucks. It sucks. Not getting recognized in the capitalistic ways for the work you've done, blah, blah, blah. But you know what you invested and you know what outcome came of it, right? So be thankful. It wasn't fruitless. And in the grand scheme of things, you know, at the end of the day, we enter the world with nothing, we leave the world with nothing. But you know what value you added along the way. Be thankful for that. I know that can be a difficult pill to swallow. Again, we have to pay rent. We've got bosses. we have to progress careers and blah, 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 blah. But you worked hard and you know what you achieved. Even if no one else recognizes it, you know what you did and what you achieved. That's awesome. That's amazing. These things, I would dare say, are worth more than all the material stuff on this planet. Just saying. That's awesome. All right. Hopes and fears. We've got, I can't quite read it, 10 of Pentacles. Well, I guess that kind of aligns. So we've just been talking about that you've been investing and putting into things that have value beyond capitalism. Your hopes and fears are 10 of Pentacles. Like, you know, at the end of the day, you do want to be recognized for the work that you're doing. If it does come down to money, if it does come down to the fact that you can pay your bills and have a roof over your head, whatever work you're doing, and I don't know, maybe you're a nurse, maybe you do community development, maybe you work with, you know, youth and do like young people work. Maybe it's something where you invest a lot and there's a lot of value, and at the end of the day, you just want to have a roof over your head, money in the bank, which is reductive, but it is what it is. You just want to be recognized for the hard work that you're doing and have stability. 10 of Pentacles, hopes and fears. And that's really hard, particularly in this world. But, you know, just know, no, I don't want to say that. I'll say the conflict. The work you're doing is valuable. And the struggle is the value is not always seen. And, you know, that's the reality of this world, which sucks. Okay. We looked at advice. We looked at hopes and fears. Let's look at an external factor. Page of Cups. So it might be that you're in a situation where you've been in your lane, you've worked really hard, you've progressed as far as you can, and you're waiting for something to come in, something to progress you to the next step, to affirm what you're doing, to recognize what you're doing. It seems like you've, like whatever pond, small pond you're in, you've like achieved as much as you can in that small pond, and you're waiting for something external to come in to either take you to the next step or recognize everything that you've done in the situation you're currently in. So, you know, I would dare say, whatever context you're in, you've learned it back to front, and you've invested as much as you can, and you've added as much value as you can, and perhaps for you to keep going with that, you need to go to the next level. Like, you need to be able to step up and change systems at a higher level, or work at a high level where you're in management and the decisions you make have a bigger, broader effect, and you're just waiting for this opportunity to go to the next level because you're already doing everything you can with what you have, and you're like, I could do so much more if I could just get to the next level. Does that sound about right? Okay, let's look at the final outcome. And like I said at the start, you do have free will. Just take this as clarity about your situation, and you make your own choices, okay? Right? Likely outcome that you have control over. The Knight of Swords. So, you're waiting here for this opportunity to get to the next level, to have larger influence, to change things in a bigger way. How are you going to get there? You're going to speak up. Whenever you get the chance, whenever you get the opportunity, you're going to speak into situations. You've already got so much experience, so much knowledge of where you're at. You already know your situation. If you look up, you probably already have a good idea about what's above you. And anytime you get the opportunity to speak up, you will. You know, let's just use work, for example. If you're on a certain team and above you there's managers, and then those people have managers, anytime you get to speak up to the next level and say, all right, this is what I know, this system has to change, this system has to change, this process has to change, speak up. Because you've got a lot of wisdom and insight. You've been on the ground. You've seen, like, again, let's just use work as the example. You know the policy, you know the director, you know the policy, you know the processes. You've seen how it affects the end client or the end, person. You've got so much wisdom and insight. So any opportunity you get, speak up. Open those doors. Bust your way into the higher levels. Change things. You can do it, and you have the opportunity to. Again, you have the opportunity to speak up. All right. We've covered a lot there. Yeah, very strange. I feel like I'm talking to people that are maybe in a service industry, maybe teachers, nurses, parents, mothers, places where you're on the front line doing a lot of caregiving, but you've done it a while or hospitality, and you've done it a while, you've learned a lot, and it's time for you to not just be on the end of things, but to speak up and change things from a higher level. Anyway, sorry, that last bit was very specific. That might not match with everyone. Anywho, that was the bonus reading for Libra. I hope that resonated. If it did, if it didn't, please comment below. Please give me feedback. I'm just a noob on here, on the interwebs, on YouTube, doing these tarot videos. I would love your feedback. So hit like, hit subscribe, put comments below. Tell me what resonated, what didn't resonate. Would love to hear your feedback. Otherwise, Libras, thank you for being my best supporters through May. I appreciate it so much, so much, especially as I'm starting out. And stay tuned. I'm going to do another general reading for all the signs for June. And yeah, I'll speak to you soon. All right, bye, my loves.